Good afternoon, Keller Williams. Jason Carpenter with another episode of Contract Ninjas. Yes, it's been a while since we've talked. I wanted to pick up where we left off on compensation of the brokerage firm. This is how you get paid. Now, you remember we create the agency relationship with our buyer. We talked about that in the last episode. Now, this also discusses how we're going to get paid. So a lot of people, as we mentioned earlier, are averse to signing things, and you don't just say, hey, this is how I get paid. We talk about specific representation and how we are exclusive agent for that representation of that client. But eventually we get around to the compensation portion of it. So item 5, compensation of the brokerage firm. In consideration for the services to be performed under the agreement, buyer agrees to pay brokerage firm as follows. Now, again, we say buyer agency doesn't cost you anything. Contradictory statement right there. Well, let's go through this and show how this works. So you can charge a retainer fee. I don't typically do a retainer fee. I wouldn't recommend that you do either unless you really have somebody that you feel that you want to collect on whether they buy anything or not. But that would be if in the event that you're just out showing houses. Could be applied to any commission that you do earn. What we want to focus on is the commission statement. In the event buyer contracts to purchase the desired property, buyer will pay the brokerage firm a commission equal to, and you can see I've got 3% in here. You could put 3.5%. You can note on here that the commission is due and payable upon closing, provided, however, that if the transaction does not close because of default on the part of the buyer, the commission shall become immediately due and payable. So buyer defaults on a contract and you could still get paid. Well, we don't make a habit of suing people in this business for commissions, but sometimes you have to do that. It allows you the protection to do that. The commission obligation shall apply to any purchase agreement executed during the term of this agreement or during any extension of this agreement. It also carries forward for 6 months. And you can see that in the next sentence there. So, if the property acquired was presented and shown to the buyer during the term of this agreement. So it's not an automatic 6-month protection period for any property they would buy. It just happens to be one that you had shown them during that period of contract. Now, credit. Buyer will receive a credit against any amount owed pursuant to paragraph 5 for any commission paid to the brokerage firm by the seller or the seller's listing broker. So what does that mean? Well, again, we're offered a co-op fee on listed properties, and it's going to tell you right there that you're getting paid by that co-op fee. Now, if people have a problem, let's say you put 3.5% in up here. Oops, sorry. 3.5% in up there, and they're only offering 3%, and the seller or the buyer, is worried about having to make up the difference. You have a right to collect that other 0.5% from the buyer, but you can always put in here something to the effect commission earned from the cooperating broker will be considered payment in full. So that way you're protecting them from you essentially recollecting on any differential. That comes into play. Maybe it's only a 2.5% commission. Maybe you have three in there and they don't want to make up the difference. So that's one way to overcome that objection of, hey, do I owe you anything for buyer agency? The way this is written, you would not, or the buyer would not owe you anything. Now, again, we don't want to make a habit of going out and threatening lawsuits with people over that 0.5% or even an unearned commission. But again, you could say, hey, you go out and buy a for sale by owner, either with or without me, and that for sale by owner isn't willing to pay a commission. I can collect this, and that is the case here. So if it's an unlisted property where they're not offering a commission, you have the right to collect a commission on that. So now again, it's a delicate balance. If you want to talk through anything like this, feel free to let me know because it is important that you understand how to communicate with your buyer on that and navigate through some of those tough conversations. It's what we call overcoming objections and then handling some of those sticky situations that we can get into with buyers when things might go sideways and they would go rogue and go out and buy a for sale by owner. So feel free to contact me. It's a quick one today, but we're going to cover the rest of this in the next episode, just kind of the legal instances in here and some of the other blanket statements, and then wrap up buyer agency in 3 parts. So thanks for watching and have a great weekend.